I got this Stoner MS6. I'm all set on doing a regrind, but there were a few things I thought I might do beforehand, before I just take her to the stone. And one thing that occurred to me was to check against the competition, because I got the feeling that this knife is quite thick behind the edge. And so what I did was I went and got my micrometer, which is sadly out of, well, I took the battery out, but it's no batteries. But, you know, just by eye, I could set that right behind the edge here on the Survive, right behind the edge, and then I can put the Stoner in the, yeah. And I'm getting, oops, no, I wasn't in, excuse me. I have this trouble all the time. Maybe halfway up, about halfway up the bevel. So, you know, if this is, off the top of my head, 20,000 behind the edge, 20 thousandths, 20,000 inches behind the edge, 20 thousandths, this would be about 40. And that would be probably, you know, pretty standard, I guess, for the kind of tactical knife, which I suppose this is more of a kind of a tactical, you know, something I think that a guy in the military might like to carry. The eye doesn't lie. I'm sorry, I'm not getting this on camera. Okay, so let's see what's happening further back here. Pretty similar, actually. So we're thinner further up the blade here. Well, which obviously stands to reason. I mean, you can just see that anyway because of the width of the bevels. You know, this has wider bevels and a thinner stock. So, you know, okay, this is a CPM 3V blade, and this is AEBL. So this should be tougher, and the thinner geometry has a lot more backup. However, this knife, by all accounts, is practically indestructible. And AEBL is also a very tough steel. I've been squinting at this blade in various ways. Now, if you join me in sighting straight down the tang, because we can rest assured that the tang is straight. Do you see what I see? It's subtle. And, you know, nothing out of the ordinary for a new knife. You know, no knives are perfect. We have a bit of warpage, and because these bevels were cut in with a CNC, you know, that's not a grinding issue. That's heat treatment. That's warpage during heat treatment. Slight, but noticeable. And I can feel it also if I run my fingers down this way. Also, I've looked at it with a flat. I tried getting that on the camera, but it's very difficult. But, you know, of course, you just put something flat, not see-through, and you can play around with it and see the light gaps. So what we have is that a bit of warping out down this way. You know, it kind of bubbles out down this side and up towards the point here. So that is going to be something to just take into account when I'm grinding, because if I just keep grinding this in, that's kind of pointless. Why not straighten the knife up while grinding it? You know, if you just sharpen it, you can't do much to change that. But since I'm going to be thinning out the blade, you know, obviously up here I'm going to be thinning out on this side, and that will mean that, at least arguably, there isn't a very good reason not to. Number 3 diameter. Common household nail. Not too shabby.